Every day on social media, you are bombarded with 15-year-olds in Lambos surrounded by supermodels. And oh, they're all self-made, of course. Nowadays, everyone is making it look like it's the easiest thing in the world to become extremely successful and to make millions of dollars. But let me tell you one thing, there are no easy get-rich-quick schemes. It's a gruesome process that takes time. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but if you genuinely expected that you're going to get rich easily in just 90 days, you're in for one hell of a surprise. Becoming a millionaire takes years of dedicated hard work. In fact, it's going to take longer than you think. I invite you to extend the timeline. Think 3 to 7 years. And the sad truth is that most people never get there anyway. But I can guarantee one thing. If you are willing to put in the work, day after day, for 3 to 7 years, then there is no way you won't become extremely successful. I personally went from being a broke, depressed, anxious kid just a couple years ago to now running a profitable online business and having the time of my life while doing so. But that transformation didn't happen overnight. In fact, it took me years. And that is why I'm going to share with you the 6 steps that you can follow to speed up the whole process and to make millions much faster than you would if you were to go all alone on this journey. Step 1. You need to wake up. The truth is that ever since you were a child, society has been conditioning you to be poor. Unless you grew up in a very wealthy family, chances are your parents transferred their own inaccurate beliefs about the world, about work, and about money onto you. We are literally made to believe that there is not enough to go around for everyone. Lies. They are literally printing money out of thin air on a whim, and then they claim there isn't enough money in the world. You need to understand that ever since the US dollar is not pegged to gold anymore, it is technically speaking completely worthless. Now you may wonder how that would even make sense. After all, we buy things every day. In reality, the money that we use today, it only holds value because we all collectively decide that it does. Gold has real tangible value. It's used in the medical, in the electronics, in the automobile, in the defense and aerospace industry. However, let's say if tomorrow there was a zombie apocalypse, money, dollar bills, coins, they would hold no value anymore because people would focus on the essentials. They'd focus on getting food, they'd focus on having shelter, on protecting themselves, on getting weapons, but nobody would care about your dollar bill anymore. Now, of course, in the real world, we are not going to have a zombie apocalypse anytime soon. However, natural events, natural catastrophes, wars, they do happen. The reason you need to wake up is because society does not care about you. The elites couldn't care less about you. All they want is for you to study the path they have laid out in front of you and to pay taxes, to be a good slave for them, to never question anything, and to then one day die. If you just look at any school program anywhere in the world, school doesn't actually teach you anything. It only conditions you to think like everyone else, to follow the crowd, and to do what everyone else is doing. It doesn't teach you to think critically. The truth is that you need to be bold to break free from the system. But how do you do that actually? It seems there are just so many obstacles. The way that you do that is by reprogramming your brain for success first of all. Because so much garbage has been put in your brain from all of those years. You've been listening to the wrong people. So now first, to reprogram your mind, you need to de-learn all of the things which are inaccurate. They tell you you need to study hard in school to get massively in debt, then get a good job, and that's it, you've made it. Get a mortgage, buy a house, get 2 weeks of vacations per year, and that is all there is to life. Let me tell you, that is a lie. There is much more to life than just this pointless, meaningless life. So the first step in your journey to breaking free from the system is to learn, to reprogram your mind, to open up your mind to the many possibilities that are out there. Most people are completely blind to the opportunities around them. Ask most people above 40. They have no clue about social media. They don't realize that plenty of people are making thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, even millions of dollars every month, every year, thanks to social media. So start reading. Pick up a book on money, on personal finances. Read the Millionaire Fast Lane. Read Rich Dad Poor Dad if you're really starting from zero. Watch videos on YouTube just like this one. That's what I personally did growing up. No one came and just taught me how to do things. I had to learn by myself. I read countless books, watched countless videos, I joined so many courses, and I would not be where I am today. I would not have this sort of life if I didn't reprogram my brain. So just like they brainwashed you to be poor, to fail miserably, you need to take it very seriously to brainwash yourself to success. All of your life, you've been told not to take risks. You've been told to play it easy. You've been told to act like everyone else, to follow with the crowd. But what do you think? Do you think that the innovators, the ones who make the money, they follow the crowd? Do you really think that they do what everyone else around them is doing? Of course not. They see what others do wrong and they go the other way. To give you an example, in the stock market, smart investors, they're never buying when everyone else is buying. Instead, when everyone else is buying, massively inflating the prices, they're selling. And then when everyone is selling, they're buying. And that is how they are able to acquire assets for the price of a loaf of bread, while everyone else is still struggling year year after year. So understand this, you need to take risks to become successful, because let's face it, it's hard, and there's a reason why the top 1% is called the top 1%. There's a reason why most people don't make it. So if you genuinely expect that it's going to be one hell of a easy ride to success, you are dead wrong. Now, I'm not saying that you have to take gigantic risks that will put everything on the line, because truthfully nowadays, there are pretty much no risks to starting your own online business. You can have a job, you can still be in university, and start your project on the side. Most people think that they can't do that because they say, I don't have enough time. But the truth is that on the average 8-hour workday, people are only really working for 2 to 4 hours. So with 2 hours a day, and let's say 4 hours a day on the weekend, because you can probably allocate more time to your business, you can already get ahead of 99% of people. The key is to focus intensely. Step 2, fail forward fast. You need to realize that all the theory in the world is completely and utterly pointless if you don't use it. Now, one thing that successful people understand is that failure is part of the journey to success. In school, they teach us that making mistakes is wrong, but making mistakes is oftentimes how you learn. You need to accept that failure is going to be a part of the process. You can't expect to want to be successful, to want to make millions, to want to have everything that only a few select group of people have, and yet not have to face pain, not have to face failure. Understand that successful people view failure very differently than most people. They don't quit at the slightest difficulty. I see so many people claiming they are committed to doing whatever it takes to win, when in reality they always come up with so many excuses as to why they can't do this or they can't do that. As Tim Grover, the coach of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, says, winning demands everything. Winning is disgusting. Winning is ruthless. Successful people learn to develop a strong pain tolerance. Because I'll tell you this right now, if you can't handle failure, disappointment, frustration, anger, pain, or even criticism, then starting a business is not for you. Step 3, choose the right opportunity. This is literally one of the most important steps, yet most people just simply mess it up. They don't realize that by choosing a certain type of business, a business which is not optimal in any way, they are actually setting themselves up to fail, and miserably. You need to be very careful, and you need to choose the right business opportunity. Not every business opportunity is equal. To give you an example, you could decide to open up a restaurant, or you could decide to sell your own services online. Now, if you were to open up a restaurant, you would need to go to the bank, you would need to take out a loan, so you get massively in debt. You open up a restaurant, you're not even sure if it's going to work because there's plenty of competition. Then you have to make sure that you get enough food, that it doesn't spoil. You need to hire some chefs, you need to hire some workers, you need to manage those people because they don't know what to do on their own. Then you need to market yourself, you need to make sure that people are interested to come and to dine in your restaurant. And then let's say you manage to make it a success. People love your restaurant. Now you want to scale, you want to take your business to the next level. But wait, every single table is full, it's reserved. So what can you possibly do to scale your business to new heights? Your only real option would be to open up other restaurants in different locations. So each time that would come with lots of risk. You'd need lots of upfront startup capital to open up yet another restaurant. And if you make even the slightest mistake, like choosing the wrong spot, you could just lose everything. Now compare that to selling your own services online. All you'd need to get started, if you wanted to do it as lean and as mean as possible, you'd buy a domain name, you'd make a website really quickly, which you don't even need to know how to code anymore to make a pretty website, and you'd get a professional email address. Maybe you'd create an Instagram account just to have some online presence, a LinkedIn account, but as you can see, you didn't even spend more than $50. Then you reach out to potential customers, and in the worst case scenario, it's been, let's say, 6 months, 12 months, you've started your business and you didn't even sign a client. Well, you just lost $50 and 6 months of your time. Whereas with a restaurant, not only would you have lost 6 months of your time, but hey, you're also massively in debt. Now you need to repay it all back to the bank with interest on top of that. And gross revenue is not the same as profit. With your restaurant, you could have a nice gross revenue, but how much profit would you really take out of the business? Not that much, honestly, because there are so many costs which are involved with having a restaurant. And also, what would you do if we have, let's say, another pandemic and another lockdown? You've got to understand that the recent crisis killed a lot of small business owners. Many of them had to declare bankruptcy, whereas people who had an online business, a lot of them saw their skills skyrocket. The reason being, most people were stuck at home, so on the internet. Now, if you want to figure out what is the best online business to start for a beginner, I've recorded a free video in which I'm going to analyze every popular online business model. We'll take a look at the pros and at the cons of every model, and I'm also going to share with you for completely free the 3-step process that you can start using literally today to get your first customers as quickly as possible. If you're interested, the link is in the description below. Step 4, getting your first sale. A lot of people tell me that they're too afraid to start their business. They're terrified. They think that people won't take them seriously. They're afraid of other people rejecting them, perceiving them negatively. Let me tell you one thing. We call this imposter syndrome, and you know how to cure it? By getting your first customer. There is simply no other way around this. You could meditate for as long as you want. You could stand in front of the mirror every morning and repeat a bunch of affirmations such as I'm confident, I'm gonna get my first sale, I'm legitimate, but really, only getting your first sale will actually cure the imposter syndrome. When I got my first online sale ever, it was 50 euros, which is around $50, and I was selling some kind of a mop on a website, and when I saw the money on my dashboard, it really did something to me. Because of course, I wanted to believe that making money online was possible, because I saw all of those guys online having the time of their lives, having so much freedom and abundance. I could only dream of that. But if I'm being honest, I still had this voice in the back of my head that was telling me maybe they're just lying, maybe it's just too good to be true, or maybe they can do it but I can't. But then when I got my first sale, I realized I can do it too. These guys, they're nothing special. I did it. And more than that, I realized you can truly have this life, you can truly make money online. For me, it was a complete game changer. And trust me when I said that your first sale will be the sale that you remember more than any other. Step 5, the death trap. You need to understand that early success is in no way guaranteeing long-term success. This is where so many entrepreneurs, or I should say wannabe entrepreneurs, are actually massively going to fail. They're going to get a little success. Maybe they got their first customers, and now they think they are this massive success. Their ego is massively inflated. It's distorting their perception of reality. And now they're going to go to the club to buy the most expensive bottle of alcohol to impress other people. They're going to go and rent a Porsche. They're going to get a better flat. This is what we call lifestyle creep. They'll start to spend so much money on this lifestyle to portray themselves to be more successful than they really are. But guess what this is going to do? Not only will it make them lose money, because they're essentially paying for liabilities, which take money out of their pocket instead of putting money in their pocket and making them richer, but not only that, they become a slave to the image that they portray to other people. And now they're starting to spend less and less time on their business. And at first, it doesn't really show. But then their sales curves start to go down and they start to go into panic mode. And that is where a lot of entrepreneurs lose everything, because they blew it all. So be very careful when you enter that stage, because you can seriously lose everything. Just because you've got a little bit of early success, it does not mean that you can stop working. You need to secure your assets. You need to secure your wealth. So keep going. Don't stop. Step 6, have a deeper mission. You know, it's great to want to experience the nice things in life, like the Ferraris, the nice restaurants, the beautiful apartments, but those are simply materialistic things. At the end of the day, a Rolex, a Patek Philippe, it's nice for sure, but it is just a watch. A Ferrari, it is amazing. It's a piece of art. I'll grant you that. But it is also just a car. In my opinion, it is not enough to make you fulfilled. And besides, if your only reason for working, for getting out of bed every morning, it's to have a luxurious lifestyle, what happens when you actually achieve it? I'll tell you what will happen to you. Just like with many others who only started for financial gain and for a luxurious lifestyle, you'll enter a serious phase of depression, because now you have everything you've ever wanted. So now life is completely meaningless. That is why I invite you to seriously ask yourself if there isn't a deeper reason as to why you work so hard, why you work so tirelessly. Because if you look at any billionaire, they're still working, yet they have so much money they couldn't even spend it all even if they wanted to. But the reason why they keep working is because they have a mission. Some of them want to accomplish something insane, and that is what drives them every day. Because at some point, it's not about the money anymore. A deep reason to do things could be you want to retire your parents, you want to buy a home with the person you love, you want to provide for your future family. Usually having a deeper why involves more than just you. Other people enter the equation. Because if you have loose, shaky foundations, weak motivators, when you're a bit sick, when you feel a bit tired or a bit lazy, you're not really going to push as hard as somebody who has a very strong reason why they do things. Trust me when I say that human beings are able to withstand incredible amounts of pain as long as they have a strong reason why. Think about the guy in the concentration camp. He has to get out because he wants to protect his daughter. That is an insanely reason to keep fighting and to do whatever the hell it takes to endure the hell he's in. So I genuinely believe that if you follow those 6 steps, your chances of becoming a millionaire are significantly higher.